Welcome back to That Haunted Show. Sit back, pop in a VHS, and grab your popcorn because we're going to be talking about horror movie fans. I'm not making fun of horror movie fans from the outside, because I am one, which is exactly how I know horror fans are not just one fandom. We are a collection of extremely specific little tribes, all convinced we're the only real horror fans. And every single one of us has a problem with everyone else. You've got the jump scare people. These are fans who say they love horror, but what they really love is being attacked by sound design. They want something to pop out of nowhere and scream at them, and absolutely ruin their blood pressure for the evening. They act like they're seasoned horror veterans, but honestly, they're just chasing that one tiny heart attack over and over again. These are not horror viewers. These are people being mugged by cinema. The I love horror trope. No, you love sudden organ damage. Then you've got the creature feature buffs. Now these people, the creature feature crowd, will give almost anything if the monster is good. Bad story? Fine. Weak dialogue? Whatever. Characters making idiotic decisions? Sure. But if the creature design is ugly, nasty, weird, and it looks like it could destroy a small town by itself, now we're talking. These are the people who can tell you exactly when a practical monster suit felt more alive than $1 million CGI demon. And yes, they will absolutely bring up Tom Savini like he's a saint carved into the side of a haunted mountain. Which, roses where they're due. Because to them, if the monster doesn't look like it was built by a deranged genius in a basement, it doesn't count. Creature feature fans don't watch horror movies. They inspect the beast like they're judging livestock at a cursed county fair. Then, you've got the torture lovers. These are the fans who say they want something disturbing. But what they really mean is they want to sit through 90 minutes of pure discomfort and then call it art. They don't want fun scares. They want a movie that feels like a legal liability. They'll watch some horrifying basement scene and go, wow, that was really effective, like it had anything to do with the plot. Effective for what? Destroying the rest of your weekend? These people don't want a movie. They want a warning label with a runtime. Next up, the practical effects believers. This group is basically a religion. If it's practical, they love it. If it's CGI, they complain. If it's both, they'll spend the whole movie trying to identify the exact frame where the digital blood showed up. These are the people who pause mid-scene just to admire a puppet limb. And honestly, I respect it, because practical effects have soul. They got a lot of soul. They have grime. They have texture. You can tell somebody suffered to make that thing move. If you've seen any of the behind the scenes of the Alien movies, you'll know what I'm talking about. And that matters. That's why names like Tom Savini are basically forbidden knowledge handed down from the old gods. Practical effects fans don't just watch horror movies. They inspect evidence. On the other side, you've got the CGI critics. These are the people who can smell a digital effect from across the room. You show them a monster with smooth movement and a clean finish, and they immediately sit back like a judge delivering a sentence. Too fake. Meanwhile, the thing is ripping somebody in half on screen. But no, the problem is that the shadow on the wall looked emotionally artificial. Look, I get it. Bad CGI kills the illusion fast. Because there's nothing scarier than a monster that looks like it came preloaded with a software update. They want their horror handmade, ugly, and barely contained. They want the monster to look like it could fall apart at any second. And somehow, that makes it more real. Then there are the classic people. Oh, these people. These fans believe horror peaked before they were old enough to legally rent any of it. For them, everything old is better. Better atmosphere, better pacing, better music, better tension, better everything. And they're not always wrong. Listen, I am a hardcore fan of the classics. I have Bela Lugosi tattooed right on my arm. So I get it. And they're not always wrong. But they are emotionally incapable of hearing about a new horror movie without immediately comparing it to whatever VHS or black and white nightmare changed their life when they were 13, myself included. I'm not calling myself out, but they don't just make them like they used to, so they say. Maybe they don't. But they also used to make a lot of absolute trash back then too. You just found the one film that scared you in a basement with no windows and you built your entire worldview around it. The classic people don't love horror. They love one very specific feeling from 1982, or 1926, or 1946.
Listen to them, children of the night. What music they make.
Then you've got the new takes people. These fans want originality. They want bold ideas, fresh blood, new angles, something that finally does something different. I just went and saw the new Obsession movie, and I thought it was phenomenal. Curry Barker is climbing really, really quickly. And Jordan Peele, I'd say he does some new takes on horror. They want bold ideas, fresh blood, new angles, something that finally does something different. But the second a movie gets weird enough to actually feel original, they start acting suspicious. Now it's too artsy. Now it's too slow. Now it's not really horror. It's more like a drama with spooky vibes. You begged for a new take, and the second it arrived wearing something strange and interesting, you called security. That's the problem with horror fans. We're always asking for something new until it shows up. Then we miss the old thing. Horror fans are impossible to please because each group wants a completely different movie, and all of them think they're the sane one. The jump scare people want pure shock. The creature feature people want the monster. The torture lovers want misery. Saw. The practical effects people want craftsmanship. CGI critics want realism. And the classic people want nostalgia. The new takes people want innovation. The remake haters want the industry to stop touching anything they grew up with. That's not a fan base. That's a council. A deeply unstable, highly opinionated horror council. And somehow, that's why horror is great. Because horror fans may be impossible to satisfy, but at least we care. We care enough to argue. We care enough to obsess. We care enough to compare every new movie to a thing we saw years ago in a room that smelled like popcorn and fear. And honestly, that's kind of beautiful. Except the remake people. They're still wrong. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, go rewatch your favorite horror classic and complain about the ending, and then come back here and tell me why I'm wrong in the comments.